everyone. This is my final for Social Connections. I really enjoyed the class. It definitely made me think about the relationships I have with people and how I can better those relationships and do different things to make the relationships and bonds stronger. It also helped me to think about how I approach situations with other people, how I can change what I say and what I do to make the outcome of like an argument or something benefit both sides of the argument. I really liked the group work we did in class. I think it helped a lot with the subject material we were studying, especially because you could relate your ideas to other people's ideas and hear their stories and just completely change your point of view on something to something you didn't think of before. I also think it helped us connect as a class as well as just students as individuals. I know I definitely made a couple of friends that I hadn't really met before I took the Wired class. I really enjoyed the out-of-class projects. They were really cool. They kind of forced us to look deeper into the subject material that we were learning about, as well as how others are affected by certain things in relationships. In my case, I think they also made me want to form deeper connections with like old friends as well as friends I was meeting at UK. The Facebook fast was probably my favorite. I stopped using Facebook right after class was over the first day, just so I could go ahead and get like the 3 days in and be finished. I thought I was using it to better my relationships, I guess, like to stay connected to my friends from home that were at Bellarmine or Western or wherever. And I was looking at pictures, commenting on pictures about my nephews, being tagged in pictures of friends and stuff like that, seeing the activities that my friends were getting to do at whatever college they chose with sororities or music groups and stuff like that. But I didn't realize that having these things to look at and to kind of relate to and notice were keeping me, I guess, from my friends a little bit. I realized I hadn't really talked to my best friends in like a week and a half or 2 weeks and to have like an actual live conversation and not just like text messages or anything like that. And also hadn't talked to my mom in like 3 days, which is kind of crazy because she's kind of obsessive. But so during the 3 days, I ended up FaceTiming and talking on the phone a lot. I FaceTimed my best friend twice, I think, for like an hour at a time and talked to her on the phone a couple times. I got to FaceTime with my stepbrother and his wife and my 3 nephews, so that was a lot of fun. I had a lot of connection with people on campus too, just because I wasn't able to check like the Keeneland page and the UK page and to see what was going on around campus. So, I would talk to other people about it more instead of just mentioning, hey, this is going on. And I ended up doing like a couple of things with other people. It was a really great 3 days, and I didn't expect that. It made me realize that catching up and actually like talking for extended periods of time, like weekly or every few days or something like that with my best friends, kept us more connected, and we just had a lot more fun with stuff that way. If I could change anything about the class, I would say the blogs or choose different books to read. The books were definitely kind of repetitive, but they were still okay. The blogs, don't really get rid of them necessarily, they just kind of reinvent them. Sometimes it was a little annoying to have to write such a long blog. It didn't take long, but when the subject material was so repetitive and we went over it in class so much, it was hard to kind of do it all over again. You felt like you'd already done it, sort of. I know that I wrote the first blog, which was the longest, on my way home, or not on my way, on my way from home back to school in the car, because my best friend and I were going to the Brantley Gilbert concert that night. So I didn't necessarily put as much thought into it, I guess, on a lot of them, especially since we went over stuff in class. I think maybe more lectures would make them a lot more interesting, and you could kind of relate them a lot more. Since I mentioned the books, I'll go ahead and talk about those. We read How to Win Friends and Influence People and The 7 Principles of Making Marriage Work. The books were okay. They were kind of dull at times, and they were both repetitive. I did like Gottman's book a lot more than the Carnegie book, mainly because Carnegie was just kind of annoying sometimes, and he seemed like he needed to take his own advice once in a while. And Gottman was definitely more updated, I guess you could say. They did have a lot of the same points, though, like in relation to each other. They both talked about not criticizing people, especially like who you're in closer relationships with. You should appreciate people and kind of want what they want, and they should want what you want, and you should smile and be interested, like sincerely interested, not just, oh really type of interested. Definitely listen and be respectful and see things from other people's points of view. I definitely tried to do some of these things, like for instance, my stepbrother, I didn't get to see him on his birthday, but we have like a close relationship. So instead of just sending like the stereotypical, hey, happy birthday text or whatever, I sent him a picture that was something that he was interested in, and I knew he would think was funny. And then at the end, I put, thanks for being my own personal Captain America anytime I need you, because Captain America is his favorite superhero. So, and then we had like another like all day conversation after that. So I think it definitely made him like appreciate that I was appreciating him and stuff like that. Gottman mentions that you should have emotionally intelligent relationships, and I think that's definitely very, very true. Whether you're married, not married, friends, family members, whatever, you definitely need to stay involved with each other's lives, know what each other's dreams are, take those dreams and make them your own dreams, put your dreams together so that they relate, and just try to do stuff like that. I really liked the different things that Gottman used that you could solve problems with. I'd say my favorite was to be tolerant with people, just because I always have to like force myself to like be tolerant with other people if I don't agree with them and stuff like that. So seeing like his points of view and how you could do that in different settings was really neat. I got my idea for my final study, as we've been calling it, from Chapter 11 in The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work by Gottman. He discussed that forming your own type of culture or community helps lead to a better relationship and a shared meaning of like being in the relationship. So I thought back to when I was applying for the Wired program and realized that the whole reason I applied was because I wanted a smaller community where I could relate to people, especially when UK is such a huge campus. So I realized that I've made a lot of friends in Wired, but I still see people every single day that I've never seen before, and it's already halfway through the first year. For instance, there's a guy in my calculus class that I didn't know he actually lived in Keeneland until about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. So that kind of made me feel bad. So I think it would be kind of cool to see if we could increase the sense of community or shared meaning of being in the Wired program. I thought about doing a survey type of thing during like the first week of school or the first week of classes once everyone's moved in, just to see how connected everyone feels as like a whole dorm. There would be questions about like how many people you've met and how you've connected, and if you think the whole dorm is connected well enough, or if you think it could be more community-like. And then there would be questions about how you relate to people and what type of activities you like to do and stuff like that. And then the office or whoever would take those surveys and split students up into groups that they related to each other in. Like if you like paintball or something like that, everybody that did that would be in one group. And then, like, once a month or once every 2 months or something, kind of like the required wired events we have now, they could have a group activity type of thing. It could be baking, Pinterest crafts, water balloon fights, paint gun fights, whatever they wanted to do that they were in, like, the group that was related to. And then after that, they could do another common survey that just kind of, like, had them reflect on the event and had them see if they were more related to one another now and if they felt more of a sense of community. And then I just think it would be really neat to have everybody meet as a whole. So they would switch groups like every month or whatever. And I think just meeting everyone would help the sense of community, but I think doing the activities is going to lead to more of a sense of community because you have that common thing there. You have the common thing of living in Keeneland together. So I think it would just be really cool to see if we could increase the community as well as friendships and stuff like that. I hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas break, and I will see you all when we get back in January.